Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Devotion Light. Today is Monday, October 30th, day 17 of our 21-day prayer condition. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chunjian, Champumanamge, Kyungbae. Pado. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 전상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 전상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장부모님의 대신 가족으로서 자손을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 신정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 전상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Reverend Corley. Reverend Corley, could you please unmute and pray for us today?
That was me you are asking?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not loud enough here.
Okay, please join me in prayer. Our Heavenly Parent, we greet you on this brand new day, Monday morning, October 30th. We thank you for your love and blessing. We thank you for our true parents and for the principle that they have brought to this earth and encompassed on this earth. We know it's a very difficult course to accept and to take, as Father talked about receiving the request from Jesus and realizing what an enormous responsibility it was. However, he did accept that request, and ever since that moment, really, true father and true mother later have been on stage their whole life, lived in the public eye their whole life, which is an enormously difficult thing to do, and I'm sure many times would want to have a break from that situation. But nevertheless, they persevered. We saw them with our own eyes at Belvedere in Korea, many other locations and public stages around the country and around the world. And they never gave up the effort to teach and educate as many people as possible. And we're very fortunate to have all that content here on earth with us. Sadly, Jesus only had 3 years, and they didn't have tape recorders or digital equipment in those days to record everything that he said. So there's only really a minute amount of words were available from Jesus' 3 years. But from our true parents, we have an enormous amount of material. We can look for probably answers to any question in life in their words and get answers. So we thank you for their incredible perseverance and leaving us behind such a great legacy to guide us in the future. So thank you again this morning that we can read from True Mother's autobiography and learn a lot more about her by going through it with a magnifying glass and understanding more deeply the course she followed. She was always quiet and, in a sense, behind the scenes, but now we can hear more directly from her as she speaks and as we read her autobiography. So thank you again for this opportunity. I offer this prayer and report these things in my name, Tom Corley, of the Corley family, and all of us here. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Reverend Corley. Okay, family, now it's time for our Gullible reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our True Mother's memoir. Pastor Milhan.
Hey, everyone. Thank you, Kathleen and Corley, for your prayer. Thank you to your parents for this, for your mother's memoir. Let's begin. Episode 67, right?
Yes.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. For years, we had planned to host a continental summit and blessing ceremony in South Africa. Unfortunately, Family Federation South Africa's foundation was not at a level where a summit and blessing could be co-hosted with the South African government. Finally, in 2018, we forged ties with the South African people and government when we co-hosted the celebration of Nelson Mandela's centenary in Mvizo, as well as the 2018 Cape Town Summit and Blessing. On that foundation, and energized by the ongoing initiatives of Prophet Radebe and other major religious leaders, we were ready to hold a continental-level summit and blessing. Our blessed families and missionaries prepared more than 100,000 couples to attend in person, and we expected millions of African nationals and other people around the world to take part via the internet. Mobilization efforts had been successful, with the response overwhelmingly positive. Most of the participants were from Johannesburg, where the FNB Stadium is located, but there also were those who traveled for days to take part. All told, participants came from 54 countries, with the largest international contingents from Mozambique, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Furthermore, South Africa's state-run television and radio and other major media throughout Africa prepared for the live broadcast. But Prophet Radebe and the hosts were nervous as they watched the skies. It had rained for 8 days, and Johannesburg has a problem with flooding. On the day of the blessing, the rain was continuous. At times it lightened up, but then it became heavy again. The roads in and around FNB Stadium were soaked. Some areas were flooded. Most people in the government encouraged us to reschedule because they didn't believe anybody could come. Some 30% of the chartered buses realized that they could not reach their assigned pickup points, and they simply canceled. The day before the blessing, Prophet Radebe had told me that neither wind nor rain would deter the people from attending the blessing. On the eve of the blessing ceremony, as the news of bus cancellations poured in like the rain, Prophet Radebe and his team went into emergency mode and somehow procured 500 more buses. The prophet worked so hard, running here and there to fulfill what he knew was the people's great wish to attend the blessing. As the day of the continental blessing ceremony arrived, the people acted on that great wish. Beginning at 5 a.m., couples entered the stadium. Long lines formed, with everyone waiting patiently. When they entered, participants headed for the third floor, which provided shelter from rain. Despite all this, a festive mood filled the venue. People danced and sang in gratitude for the historical blessing they knew they would be receiving from God's only begotten daughter. The atmosphere was like a festival. Their dedication was further on display when, at Prophet Radebe's request, participants on the third level made their way to the ground level and onto the field. Even with raincoats and umbrellas, most were soaked to the skin. Nevertheless, nothing could dampen their spirits. Once seated, the participants often rose to dance, sing, or applaud. The commitment Prophet Radebe and the members of the Revelation Church of God showed was remarkable. When I arrived at the stadium, I could see brides and grooms in their tuxedos and wedding dresses waiting for the blessing. Seeing me, a thunderous roar and loud shouts of Mother Moon, and applause followed. I felt that the clouds were releasing showers of joy and blessing. More drama ensued when, as I was about to leave the green room and enter the elevator, the electricity went out. Incredibly, even though the music stopped, the participants continued singing and cheering. Forgoing the elevator, I walked down 3 stories, determined not to let challenges, large or small, derail the blessing festival. When I arrived near the entrance tunnel, Prophet Radebe was waiting with a big, bright smile on his face. I was very pleased to see him and said, "Let's do our best today." He invited me to enter the stadium in an open car. The plan was for me to circle the stadium field, greeting the participants before making my way to the stage. Due to the rain, we adjusted the plan and closed the roof of the car. Even so, as we exited the tunnel onto the field, the crowds broke into a deafening roar. The participants rose, waved, and shouted, "Mother Moon," as the vehicle made its way through an honor guard. But after we had driven a few meters onto the field, a miracle occurred. The heavy rain suddenly stopped. The crowds moved into the unsheltered stands to see me, and instantly we saw the stadium was packed. I once again felt gratitude for our joyful Heavenly Parent, who was always working behind the scenes. We opened the roof of the car, and Prophet Radebe and I waved and greeted the rapturous crowd. The cheers and shouts of the audience were incredible. It truly was an amazing sight. Prophet Radebe looked at me and proudly said, "Mother, the whole stadium is filled." I went on stage to officiate the blessing ceremony. For the first time in human history, we held a continental blessing ceremony with Africa, the first continent to receive the honor. 162 couples representing 54 countries, consisting of 54 newly married, 54 already married, and 54 religious, governmental, or tribal leader couples took the stage. Seated on the stage were more than 100 representatives, including 5 current heads of state and official government delegates. Among the blessing participants and VIPs were 6 former heads of state, 12 parliamentary speakers, 140 parliamentarians, 219 traditional rulers, 127 major religious leaders, and more than 80 media representatives from 30 countries. Among them was the king of South Africa's largest tribe, the Zulus. the Zulu tribe is famous for resisting conquest by European forces and for playing a key role in shaping the identity and tradition of modern-day South Africa. Assembling such a galaxy of distinguished couples and witnesses on stage added to the significance of the blessing ceremony. I officiated the holy water ceremony with the heart of blessing a reborn continent, heavenly Africa, a continent of hope and blessings. Prophet Radebe came on stage to receive the holy water bowl and assist me. Rather than emphasize protocol based on his position, Prophet Radebe gladly assisted me. I strongly felt that he was indeed a filial son whose only desire was to help his mother. Following the holy water ceremony was the proclamation of the blessing and the blessing prayer. On this blessed day, I poured out my heart for Africa's sake. The hope of countless prophets, kings, and traditional rulers on this continent is to usher in the day of lasting peace by attending Heavenly Parent. I earnestly pray that this continent will be blessed by heaven. As I prayed, rain started again. We all felt that these words were not tears of sorrow, but God's tears of joy. Prophet Radebe later said, "The rain falling like a waterfall in South Africa during the blessing symbolized heaven's tears of joy. The rain washed away God's pain over Africa's misery." I was also moved by Prophet Radebe's testimony during his welcoming address. Today is a special day of blessing for the African continent. We all extend our heartfelt welcome to True Mother, the only begotten daughter of God, who brings together all the races and peoples of the world. Today, I believe a new future is opening for South Africa and Africa. She is indeed our true mother. The continental level blessing ceremony was a great and historic triumph. What a perfect finale for 2019, opening the gates into 2020. When no one else believed in national restoration, we set the stage for the heavenly nation and the heavenly continent. We pioneered this uncharted course and gained a great victory for heaven at the continental level. It was truly a miraculous day.
Thank you for listening to Godable.
Thanking God, your parents, for these wise and deep, relatable words today. The theme I'm picking up today is, see through God's eyes when things go wrong, or think that these things don't go according to plan. Things often don't go according to plan, in my experience. And so, it can be Satan working, but more often than not, it's God working if you're someone of God. And sometimes God either allows things to happen or puts things in there to get to the heart of what the purpose of the event is. You might think the objective is to put a bunch of people in a room and proclaim something, but God might have a little bit different of a plan. Might want people to sacrifice a little bit more, to push themselves a little bit more to get there. I mean, like, for example, the summit in 2020 was with the coronavirus. Just back then we called it coronavirus, and it was a real problem. If one VIP got COVID, the whole event would have been shut down immediately, and it would have been very bad press for us. Of course, their health is more important than our press, but it was a concern. But what it did was it forced all of them to really ask themselves, is this is this event worth the risk of my life, you know? And it's very moving when people decide to go anyway, whether it's to honor their commitment or to attend the Mother of Peace. Either way, they put their life on the line to attend. And that's I think that's very moving and having a heaven's eyes, and they will be blessed for it. Countless rallies we've had that have had rainfall. And I think it's funny because we've had rain the last few days. As we're reading this, at least in New York, we have had rain yesterday and today. Just light rain and heavy rain all day. Even now it's raining. Rain is blessings, showers of blessings, right? That's the song we sing. And of course, rain brings, it's wet and people get sick and cold. But of course, it also supplies water for plants, and it does many good things for the earth, of course. And all these technical difficulties that happen in every event, I always see from God's point of view. Well, at least when I set up an event, I always make sure everyone has responsibility at every level. Because when things change, you need someone who can make a decision right there and then, because they know it's their responsibility. That way we can adapt to any change that happens. It's a beautiful sight to see. I remember at Madison Square Garden. Again, everything's so perfect before the event starts that I basically I feel like God. I just look around, I see everything that's happening, all things going wrong, all things going right, and people just responding. Boom, fixing, solving problems. I'll never forget with Steve Honey, he was responsible for front of house, making sure everything between the outside and the seat was well put together. And there was a patch in the stadium that wasn't filled at all, because those are apparently seats that cannot be taken by anybody, because Madison Square Garden has a section where certain VVIP donors could just go there whenever they want. But there's a big hole in the middle of the stadium, so on the day, and he and Tao, I saw them. They handled it. They just looked at it, took care of it, because they didn't have to ask me. They didn't have to ask anyone. They knew what to do and just did it. So again, when things go wrong, it's a perfect opportunity for people to step up, people to grow, people to, you don't want to take that from anyone. I think it's good for people to have that chance to grow. In any case, always see from God's point of view. That's what I'm getting here. And let's take a look at the highlights. Summit and blessing. Yes, of course, as Reverend Sebastian has repeated the last few days, it is very important. And then media. It's almost like summit, blessing, youth festival, and media. You definitely need good media coverage. No media coverage, that didn't happen. Sorry. It's which is unfortunate that we didn't get better media in the past. Those are relationships that take time to build, and so I'm interested in developing a great relationship with media. Of course, they make you feel uncomfortable, they ask you tough questions, but it's fun. It's like, yeah, good question. We have tough questions. Like in my interview, they weren't particularly nice people. They came in wanting to hear about Manhattan Family Church, and they had a lot of interest in H1 and H2 during the interview on the spot. So that was fun, and I had my own kind of way of responding. But it's it's good. Major media, it's a big victory to have major media cover it. Neither wind nor rain would deter the people from attending the blessing. See, I love that. It's that attending the blessing, it needs some, I always say this, you can't just receive the blessing. You need the first two milestones first. And frankly, you should be a tithing member for a year. That is a requirement for first gen. I think it should be required for second gen too, by the way, but maybe I'll make that mandatory in our church. But like it's there's a love demands sacrifice. This is something one of our core teachings, not for the sake of sacrificing, but for the purpose of really appreciating blessing. And so the fact they had to, again, risk their lives in this flood to attend the blessing was a form of payment, or a form of sacrifice and junk song to receive the blessing. So it's a blessing for the for the rain. Long lines formed. I highlight this part because I had a vision one time where people were lined up, like long line, people lined up for the blessing. I forget, somewhere here, in this area. So that's something we're going to have to get used to, is these long lines. So we need better registration. More drama ensued. So I always embrace the drama. Life's tough. But like I said, no one likes a story where it's like, oh, perfect beginning, perfect ending. No problems ever happen. The end. Wow. Who wants to read that book? Nobody. So drama, it's something that, true parents loved dramas. We watched them, and, they always remember this forgiveness. Not that I'm telling you to sin and make mistakes on purpose. But it's like, it's there's some things that you have to learn the hard way. And so it creates drama. But when we resolve it and we come back together and forgive one another, love and unite, it creates the kingdom of heaven right there. So embrace the drama. And let's face it, anyone who's a real tribe Messiah in here knows that it's filled with drama. That, to get one spiritual child, or to raise a child, a physical child, is plenty of drama. So it's funny, I take that little phrase and I totally extrapolated something else. Felt gratitude for our joyful heavenly parent who is always working behind the scenes. Well, this is a question, really. Do you believe that? Do you believe God is working behind the scenes in your life? I'll be honest, I don't always think that. Sometimes it's like, God is kind of an idea for a little while. And this is why I appreciate the Chungchen one so much. Because is this other thing working here? Looks good. Just trying to figure out why my screen's going dark. I wonder if my power's going out. Sorry, the kids knocked over my computer yesterday in the party, and that's a little finicky. Okay, it's working. Brighten that up. Okay, thanks. Sorry. Okay. I appreciate the Chungchen one because after I pray here, I feel very confident that God is with me. And you can't buy that. We've lived our whole lives kind of, living in, we grew up, well, I should say, we joined a church where we were full-time and just, we saw spiritual phenomena all the time because we were fundraising and doing conditions all day, every day. The sort of goals, I remember what Dr. Ward told me, that if you didn't meet your fundraising goal or your witnessing goal, in the witnessing goal. Then you'd fast for a week. And then, so like some people just don't eat because you don't always meet your goal. And it's like, wow, that's so crazy. I'm not saying it was wrong. It was an incredible condition. And the spiritual phenomena must have been normal. But now, raising families, it's not quite like that now. So then you wonder, well, can God still work in my family even though we're not doing these crazy conditions? The answer is yes. In the settlement era, yes. Yes, God is absolutely working. So you take those little things those random things that your kids do, and it absolutely is God working behind the scenes. Yesterday, she said this must have been 7 times. She reminded me and really wanted me to tell people and Mama and everyone about what happened to her yesterday. So Amy had a little bit of an experience, like a God experience. So after service, when I was talking to everyone, Anita and Phil, in the reflection period after after her sermon, Ayumi was looking at the podium, and the glass kind of refracted some light, and it looked kind of like a sun, like a star. And in that moment when she saw that, she had this thought that was, there is hope in the world. And so she really wanted to write that. She's like, Papa, do you have some paper? And I'm looking at her like, I'm talking here. Why do you need paper right now? You want to draw something? She's like, no, I want to write something down. And I was like, okay. So it was a little bit annoying at first, actually. I was a little annoyed. But what she was trying to communicate was she wanted to write down her revelation. She wanted to write down her inspiration that she had. But she didn't, she doesn't have a cell phone. She can just pop it in. So I gave her my phone and she just typed it in herself. But she's very persistent. And so it's God working. Another time where, again, Ayumi, this was when I was having a really tough time and at home, working at headquarters. I was kind of wiped out. I was lying on the floor, just feeling completely hopeless. And, Ayumi, I think, was maybe 1.5 years old. She came walking to me, and I open my eyes, and she's looking down at me and holding out, Mama's library card that she had just taken out of her wallet with a bunch of other stuff on the floor around it. And I just cried and cried. I just felt God just giving me that library card, and realizing life, that nothing really matters. All these material things really don't matter at all. That library card was more precious than anything you could ever want. And again, it's love is the reason why we're here. And that little 1.5-year-old daughter, she taught me that day. So I wept and wept. She had no idea. I don't think she had any idea what she was doing, obviously, but that's how God works behind the scenes in your house. And with kids, all kinds of chaos happens. Like yesterday, it was super chaotic. That's another story, but it was a blast. These kids were just crazy. Even the little babies were running around with these little Minecraft swords, these inflatable swords. Crazy with them all day. Afternoon. Anyway, this God is working behind the scenes everywhere, if you're willing to look. Okay. Among them was the king of South Africa's largest tribe, the Zulus. Okay, so just the Zulus tribe, I'm not going to explain it again, but the point is the Zulus are like, these are respectable people. These are the ones who, the real people of character. And I often find that to be the kind of members who are willing to join, be a part of this movement. I don't know why we have a tendency to reach out to people who maybe are kind of, easy, or I don't know, what do we call easy, but I think that people who really get the divine principle are the ones who are intelligent, who have real character. Divine principle is not easy to understand, and simply not easy to apply. So I find it easier, like Dr. Young, he talked about top down. I have to agree, because the high level people, as they're running cities and nations, they see things that most people do not. And then when they're introduced to the principle, they can appreciate the clarity that it gives them to lead and to think on global and cosmic levels. So just point that out, that as you do your outreach, consider going higher and not being afraid, but rather relate better with them. Rather than emphasize protocol based on his position, Prophet Radebe gladly assisted me. Yeah, that we've seen many times, and that is the demonstration. True Hyojang, the rain washed away God's pain over Africa's misery. Aju, this rain is really doing a lot for us here. New features opening for South Africa. Jew miraculous, yes. It's the point is to see the miracles, witness the miracles, see how God's working, and testify. And then what happens? God sends more miracles and sends more things, as long as we understand where it came from. It's like thanking your sponsors when they give. That's where I want to give you more, because you really get the heart and you appreciate what the foundation you stand on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Mifflin. All right, brothers and sisters, let's take a few moments to share our gratitude and reflections, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good sharing. Genty, could you please share with us? You have to unmute.
Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
okay. Yeah, good morning, everybody. What I take away from this morning from the case, really, like, I would like to know more actually how Prophet Rabbi, how he get to be witnessed for about Trumalar. Always such a VIP people, spiritual people. I'm always interested to know the way how people they witness them. Yeah, but it's really amazing the way how he treats Trumalar and his care about Trumalar, about it, and I just wish, like I say, every country could have such a people. If each country had such a person, or at least each continent, I think really Providence would move faster. Yeah. And yeah, about the rain, looks like always it's rain in our main events. We have same tradition actually in my hometown city, because there is a lot of rain. We say, yeah, where is a lot of rain is a lot of blessing. Yeah, this is like when the experience which the mother shares, like, and I like Reverend Milhan said, it's stand of complaint is more important. Just take responsibility and be grateful. Sometimes you cannot change the environment, but you can change our attitude, which make us to be more happy and more energized to do our responsibility. Yeah, thank you for your sharing, and special for Reverend Milhans. Make us not just, how to say, listen to Mahler's words, but look from different perspectives, different angles. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, I just want you all to know that Genty and Irvin are, the main people who did all the work in renovating that room for our Chanchin prayer hall.
Actually, I just want to mention the responsibility was taken from Irvin. I was just mostly, I'll say, helping him. And I was just talking with her and Milan in the beginning. It came up with this idea, and Irvin Milan, he asked me, okay, maybe talk to Irvin, and I said, okay, gonna talk him, can help him. It's most his idea, how to say, what to do, what to kind of paint, or which kind of this and that.
Yeah, I mean, you did
Yeah.
like especially the electricity. That's really important.
That, how to say, I like more to offer appreciate to Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. They did bigger than me on that field. Thank you, by the way.
Well, thank you so much. We're really grateful to you. And in America, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in America, when a couple has a wedding planned and it rains, they say it's good luck. I think people started saying that because they don't want to feel disappointed about the rain on their wedding day. But here in America, like if it rains, we say, "Oh, it's good luck." So thank you for sharing, Genty. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to start our 7 minutes prayer. I'd just like to remind everyone today's the 17th day of our 21-day prayer tradition for the Chenchenwan Prayer Hall Providence, especially here in Harlem and in Albany and all throughout the United States, especially Northeast region. So remember that in your prayers. So let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Shija.
Dear divine God,
And Parent, thank you for Kathleen, thank you for Milhan, thank you for Lucy,
2023.
Sal,
Two more
Father,
days.
for Hera and Ayako,
And
wish
November
all
6th,
brothers and
March
sisters,
is
Joshua, especially behind the scene,
We pray for true mother's long life.
others, amazing
every
brothers
day.
we see on this call, Father Juanita, Father, and our elder uncles, mothers,
Schedule.
for
They already
my
feel
brothers
that
and
because
sisters,
of
Gomez family,
May Heavenly
raised in
mother
titles,
message. The foundation was already set it up
Educated
Father, Heavenly
thank you for his
not the
parents, we
son,
care.
pray
for
for
pandemic.
understanding
son of
This
deception.
pandemic is really
Naomi and
have to
her
look at
her in her
our
state,
life,
her
where we are.
Heavenly
realize how
parents,
much you
pray
love
for
them.
her
Education,
delivery,
The Tapia
for
family,
a young and even family on our
the Knox family,
doesn't
the
matter
Greens, the
God's
Ukavas,
one
foundation
blood.
so
We
bad
for
in
those
us.
the
forging
Katos,
our
The heavenly parents,
the Marsons, Father,
children,
Lisa and
children,
Ashton,
children,
For the sake of
have to
life,
with you.
Baker family,
For that was the pandemic.
the
We have
family, Some's family,
everything.
Heavenly
Be
parents, here
grateful
in
that
our
the
um,
parents that the
uh,
May Heavenly true parents for
family,
the
the
children,
Mays again, Echo,
may Heavenly
raised
parents
the
The
Greens
to
and
brush
years
them
about such a
Some's family,
separation
Satos,
work so hard that
to
we
me
Patrick's family,
may Heavenly
Masako,
parents
for
kind
the
of
interest
a
Stark,
Sarah Candice and Heavenly
Chiquenza family, Moore family, and
happening in Japan is still
good
going
born
on.
pray for
This
Pastor
locals on Irina,
persecution.
Danak
Basic is
family.
hero and
Grateful
reflect
for each one of my
uh,
brothers and sisters here on
Reverend
this
Judge
call.
Scott
your
you.
image,
Chelsea One,
We need to
Providence,
practice
pray
Father,
for
simply
to
Heavenly
Mother
parents
time. Otherwise,
instituted inside of us.
for
Kim leading here in the
for another
America,
opportunity to ourselves,
very
to our faith.
body, fellowship,
God
recognize,
believe that this
Just
land
as a
grateful,
church,
went against
amazing, wonderful spirits, strong
that
spirits.
American
Oh,
bitterly.
Father Yumi and
so
Vivoki,
great
Trying to
look
care
at
for
also
looking
anything
at the
Emka,
God,
but it
each
came
one of
out
the
to
wonderful
looking at the God.
sisters here.
America
I
have
want to
Causing
pray
the
that you please
fight
bless, live,
the
and
is the
grandchildren,
help
Lord
brothers and
for the
sisters here.
parents' image.
for them
It is, of
Answers,
course,
Heavenly Parent.
difficult.
cause
We are indebted
can
to all
unite
heavenly
with
parents,
Difficult.
fellowships between
grandparents, and
love,
all the
60, since
and
1960.
parts
and
that
the
will make
So
us
we
understanding
have
able
easy
to even
time.
be in this room right now.
So that
manner so they could believe
our two
Be
parents
pray
praying,
that we
Heavenly
can fulfill
to
to
mother's
Parent,
pray
suffering,
that we
take
times
can
over.
the
support
family,
them
Passed
destroy
away, but
and
apparently allow
support
me
and
by
blood
your
the
mercy and grace to still
suffering
join this prayer
comes
today.
first
Heavenly parents
Grateful for that.
before we receive
Praying
this
for
blessing.
Church and One in Albany and
and
Red
your
Hook
will and
nation.
our
and Stockbridge,
Now,
Father
Looking
Ithaca,
at this
Long
moment,
Island, Father
this about the
Alma,
lives
so much
we
teenagers
are
and for all of
so much of the
those
blessings
sitting with you
of
as a
Javons and
love,
lifeline.
Father in
what he
California
is
that
that
can
they
be
are
teen,
well
That we
well
believe on.
frequented, Father, and brothers and sisters can really experience you.
much
Losing
I
something to
have
hide.
witnessed
and church
As
But we
Katie
are
mother
looking
said,
at you
when I asked her
Heavenly
what she was twins, what she was
experience
one
meditating
with
with,
the
said,
spiritual
original
told me that he loved
for the
me.
eyes.
church
Right up
evidence
Had
there.
an
admits
option on
love,
us.
Grateful for that.
Jackie,
That
one
you
in
please
hospital
protect her
Stephen,
The
today.
way.
so
Heavenly
grateful
parents
We can escape from
America
this
for
from
To
vision
continue to
so
work in
grateful
mysterious ways
prayer
that
the
you
church
have been doing.
we pray for
now.
as
Each one of brothers and
Heavenly
sisters.
parents
Waiting
those of
dozen years
For Rachel
that
and
is this
and
program
for Lily.
from Adam and
are
Eve.
Father,
life and the
friends
author
of
we pray for them parents and
the
children
other Lily,
Lord God
Father,
Angel
gift
of God.
Ari,
protection and guidance,
I don't know where he is.
generations of
vision,
I
brother
don't care.
Kabbalah,
But the son
fortunate
has to
so that
listen.
the parent, the son,
We have to
pray
take on
Heavenly
us.
yeah.
fortunate
parents
Say, you
so
know,
much
just
harmony
That
can bring
the
peace
divine
Heavenly
ourselves.
gentle parents
establish a church
that
and
the
one day
channel
in
will be
heaven.
Don't
streamed
talk.
for the heavenly
Missions are necessary
missionaries
in our day.
desire pray for
Confusion,
Lily.
that we
Stay
rumors,
strong,
and
impure,
chant one in
Thank you, Heavenly Parent.
We are
Thank you for
International
everybody else.
community, and
Working within this new truth.
championship month. Pray for the protection
Blessings from
pray
God.
for the
Serves needs more than 2,000 years ago.
Much as possible, as soon as possible.
Was able
To
to
humble himself.
Please keep on.
Heavenly Father,
lay the
Heavenly Father,
foundation
put a blessing
for
on
all
on
that
this
you guys.
island.
will aim to establish more
The
than
greatest
Christianity.
gift we
coming
have
into our life.
Pray that
We
men
have nothing to hide.
as the mothers and
We
fathers.
go forward.
His wife,
Every human being
that men
their best
all who are willing to go the way of the cross,
dear son and daughter.
accepted
This is
them,
they have
principle
that
we like to really help
miracles
all others.
for forgiveness,
and we shall
for
You are
pray them
just as I have.
pray
son and daughter of you.
They didn't understand what he was in impossible.
and lead by
Education,
Didn't
education
realize
is
what
just as the church.
was
That's a
allowed
movement.
him to
Things to do.
follow after
Be grateful.
Father,
Keep
the
church
come
and
here
every
was
miracle that
believe
Father, I'm running
and be
and to walk
joy.
work.
Every one of us.
but in church
Up and down.
almost
according
go
to
Pray
Galatians
that they
chapter
church
for the
fulfill your
leaders of
will.
the war and
meter
pray for the house
Everything we
Made
do,
for the
offering
but some pastor
for you.
based on that
Congress
could bring about
read
the
revitalization,
heavenly
Jesus' resurrection, reappearance on
they can
earth,
put in prayer for our brothers and sisters.
because of that reappearance, because of that love.
That's you. Thank you, everybody, for your prayers. Just want to let everybody know that today's Ayumi's 9th birthday. She's 9 years old today. A special little girl who we love so much. Hope she has a happy day. Pastor Milan, do we have?
Huh?
No, what were you going to say?
I just have one. I can show you a group picture from yesterday.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, it was a great party.
Were these children from her school or from church or?
Oh yeah, so these two, this is one family from they live 5 minutes away from here.
Oh, good.
This is what was it? Everyone else, you know, blessings. This is Reverend Dase's children,
Oh.
Diane's children here, and then Matthew. I'm sorry, Jonathan and Harry's children here. There. So that's Hamade, New Jersey. So they came together. So yeah.
That's great. I'm happy for her.
Yeah, they had a really, I think they had a good experience yesterday.
Good, good.
They enjoyed the Minecraft theme. They knew a lot about Minecraft, so I took the time to create a game that was pretty fun. So.
Oh, nice. So how about you, Pastor Mel? How you feeling? Did you go to the doctor yesterday?
I decided not to go. My sore throat's pretty much gone. So I'm all right. I think it's funny. Every time I go to the doctor, they're always like, "It's just a virus." Okay. And, you know, my insurance is not that great, so I'm always paying a big copay. So.
Or the big
fine because of yesterday I missed maybe power came to him.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's true.
It looks nice. Now it's okay.
Yes, that's true. I definitely had a lot of spiritual power yesterday. I ran all the games, so I required a lot of energy and spirit and to control this. There was actually more kids before, but this is at the end of the party. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I definitely livened up. So
Someone was asking about Richard Ramras. You haven't heard anything? Any update about him?
What was it? They did get, so this morning we are, yes, that's right. Okay, he is going into surgery this morning. So yeah, please pray for him. Yeah, he called me yesterday. So thank you, Reverend Josh, for visiting yesterday. That was very good. So I think he was in good spirits. You know, he was making jokes and stuff. So I think he'll be okay. But prayer is definitely, you know, I mean, it is a serious procedure. So let's please pray for him. He'll need all the, I told him, well, we're sending angels out to good spirits. So that he'll get the best spiritual care, at least.
It's
But
a
make
heart
sure
surgery.
physical care. Yeah,
Right.
I think open heart surgery, I understand.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
serious.
It's serious as it gets. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll keep praying for him for sure. Any other announcements? Anybody? All right then. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We're really grateful. God bless you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.